I haven't done a live in a while. So I figured I would just pop in right now. And if you're in the audience, I see a couple of people in the audience, please do say hi and tell me where you are joining from. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and I did a post on this recently, is the different styles of video because people think that, a video is basically just a talking head. And while it's great to be comfortable on camera, it's more fun for you and also for your audience if you are breaking up your videos with some other styles. Now, first of all, the main type, and now I'm talking about short form video here. I'm not talking about, the videos that you're putting on, although they could fit in there. I'm not really talking about videos on YouTube when I'm talking about a how to video where it's sort of landscape style and, someone is talking for 10 minutes or something. And it's kind of often like a webinar almost, but a very short webinar. Sometimes they even have slides behind them. I'm talking about a how to video, and that is the basic one that we think of is educational video. Now, for me, that might be talking about a new piece of equipment I have. Like maybe I want to say, I have this new little tripod thing that I can just stick on to anything that's flat so I can shoot in my kitchen or if I'm out shopping or even, on a window someplace. So that might be a how to video. It also might be me on camera giving you 3 ways to be more comfortable on camera. So that might be a video as well. But something that we see more and more frequently, we have been on LinkedIn even for a while, and before you think that short form video is only for like TikTok and Instagram, LinkedIn has been leaning into video since they put the video tab on on LinkedIn's mobile app. I think that's now maybe even a couple of years ago. So again, hi out there. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. It's a small group here. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. So, edutainment is something where you might be doing something to liven the video up. Now, for me, it might be jumping into the screen with a burst of flames, but when I get into the screen, when I land there, my message is, just don't be boring in your videos. Or I might do something where I'm walking under text or I have screen, text popping on the screen as I'm talking, but I may be using that just to emphasize what I'm talking about. For example, I might be talking about 3 ways to be more comfortable on camera, and one might be to just do video for 14 days, and another might be to do stand in a power pose before you start speaking. And that would be something that's more like edutainment. And again, LinkedIn is not just, or Substack is not just about education. And one of the things that I love the most about Substack is the fact that everything seems to be acceptable and work on Substack. You have to be a little more careful with what you post on LinkedIn, although I share the same videos across every platform. My glasses seem to be sliding down, especially today. Okay. So, again, since I'm a video coach, I might do something that's a little bit more tricky popping on screen. You might do something like just, coming in on a different angle or doing a short, simple transition like palming your hand to the camera at the end of a clip and then palming it at the beginning of a clip. So you go from maybe being in your home office to being at the beach. So that might be something that's edutainment, but you're also giving a lesson in that. So the lesson might be, when you've spent too long working in your office, palm the camera and then palm it on the other side. It's time to make sure that you take some self care and spend some time at the beach. Now, one of the things that I want to talk to you about too, and that is behind the scenes video. Now, we're all a little bit nosy. That's why magazines like People Magazine are so popular because we like to know a little bit about celebrities, but we like to know a little bit about people before we work with them as well. So, sharing bits of your life. For me, it's often I share videos of our dogs. They get way more engagement than I do. Some people share videos of their kids. Some people, do not. That's more private for them. But it might be you working in your office. It might be walking around and giving a little tour of your office. That would be some behind the scenes because people like to know. I used to use the term as this, like, as the what this how the sausage is made. That was sort of a term that's been around since I was a kid. But one of my friends said, "Well, it doesn't sound great to talk about the sausage." So I will say people like to know how the chocolate is made. So it might be a video of you working at your desk. It might be a video of you. For me, it's me and my husband at a game or maybe at a conference. Not conference, concert, but it might be also me at a conference. When I went to Podfest, I took a lot of videos while I was there and shared them because, you know, I always say that video is the fastest way to build that know, like, and trust factor, and sharing behind the scenes videos can is a way to sort of up the ampage of that. So you want to do that. And again, you know, one of the things that I do to create B-roll footage and also to show some behind the scenes is if I'm recording my podcast, or I could be doing it right now while I'm doing this live, is to put my phone on the side. So I'm recording myself while I'm recording the live or my podcast. And now behind the scenes are not videos to be teaching or to be selling. They're just videos to let people have a peek inside. We're about to have one right now as one of our dogs is sitting right here next to me and wants some attention. Now, the fourth type of video that I'm going to talk about today is just fun entertainment. Now, that is something for me, often again, it's a some kind of a trick video, but an easy way to create your own fun videos is to use CapCut templates. So if you go into CapCut and just at the bottom you look through templates, you can find all different kinds of green screens. I did one recently where The Devil Wears Prada 2 has opened. It's been in the theaters now for several weeks, but there are CapCut templates going around, and if you've seen the first one, you know the scene when, Miranda Priestley hires, Emily, and Emily shows up at the office in these hideous skirt and shoes and, compared to everyone there who is, dressed to the nines, she looks just, pretty dreadful. And as she's walking into the office, she's standing there, and Miranda Priestley, Meryl Streep, turns and looks at her and goes, "Emily?" And she's standing there, and Miranda Priestley is looking her up and down, and she goes, "That's all." So there's a CapCut template going around that has that scene where it's Miranda Priestley, and then you put your own video in there so it looks like she's talking to you. So that's just an example. I also will say we see a lot of celebrities doing these on TikTok because I'm not on Instagram much. I'm sure they're there as well. But for example, there's a guy who plays Dr. Lincoln on Grey's Anatomy. If you watch that, I still get suckered into watching it. He does a lot of videos with his real life wife where they're doing these funny husband and wife skits. For example, one of them is she's packing for vacation, she's filling all the suitcases, and then you see them at the airport, and he's wearing all of his clothes. Everything he's taking on vacation, he's wearing because there's no room in the suitcase. So when you think of fun videos, those are videos that people are going to want to share with other people, download maybe to their Facebook page and show other people something that makes people smile and maybe also makes them laugh. So again, every video doesn't have to be a how to video. It doesn't have to be you on screen teaching something. It can be you having a cup of coffee or making a cup of coffee. It can be you shopping at the grocery. I've taken videos of me shopping at the grocery. You can put a little message over them if you want, or you could just say, "This is a day in my life." So I want to throw it out there. We've been on air now. And again, I don't know why my glasses are sliding like this. We've been on the air. I've been on the air for about 12 minutes. My plan was to stay for about 15. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I love to answer questions. And I will say one of the highlights of my sort of video journey as a coach was when I spoke at a conference and one of the attendees, I ran into him at the airport and he told me that instead of watching a video, he decided after listening to my presentation that he was going to create his own video. So I hope this will give you some ideas, some things to try. Nothing I've talked about is challenging. A simple hand palm to the camera lens is certainly an easy trick that looks impressive, but it's very simple to do. So, if I don't have any questions, I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. I will say thanks so much for joining me today live. And if you have questions, you can put them in the comments once I post the video. So, thanks for being here.